Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this. I'm starting to make this video. I'm basically a complete beginner when it comes to coding and computer programming, but it's a skill that I really want to learn, so I'm just recording these videos as a kind of a journal to keep track of my progress and keep myself accountable in order to continue studying every day. I'm starting out learning Python. I'm using the platform SoloLearn. It's a free platform and it has a lot of different programming and computer science courses that you can take. Um, I don't know how good it is compared to other courses, but like I said, it's free, so that's the one I'm using for now. And I'm going to be starting out learning Python based on what I read. It's one of maybe the best courses for beginners because it's a little bit easier on the syntax, and it can also be a powerful programming language, so it's something useful to learn. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. So they have these different modules, and it's broken down into different classes so that you can learn different things. So let's go ahead and get started. What's nice with SoloLearn, and I've been through this a little bit. What's nice with SoloLearn is it has learning pages where it teaches you things, and then it has question pages where it asks you questions to basically reaffirm what you learned on the previous page. So that's kind of nice. So let's just dive right in. Welcome to Python. Python is a high-level programming language with applications in numerous areas, including web programming, scripting, scientific computing, and artificial intelligence. It is very popular and used by organizations such as Google, NASA, the CIA, and Disney. And I know a lot of big tech companies use Python as well. Facebook, Google, Uber, I believe Amazon, Microsoft. So there's a lot of companies that use Google. So I think that use Python. So I think it's an important and powerful programming language, and I think it's a good one to start with. Um, Python is processed at runtime by the interpreter. There is no need to compile your program before executing it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Python is a programming language. Okay. And that's right, let's go on. Welcome to Python. The three major versions of Python are 1.x, 2.x, and 3.x. These are subdivided into minor versions such as 2.7 and 3.3. Code written for Python 3.x is guaranteed to work in all future versions. So I think that's the version that we're learning is Python 3.x. Oh yeah, it says that right here. Both Python version 2.x and 3.x are used currently. This course covers Python 3.x, but it isn't hard to change from one version to another. Python has several different implementations written in various languages. The version used in this course, CPython, is the most popular by far. An interpreter is a program that runs scripts written in an interpreted language, such as Python. Okay, so yeah, I believe the interpreter is where you actually write your code. So let's continue. Which of these statements is true? Python code must always be compiled. CPython is an implementation of Python. That's the right answer. Okay, let's go on. So let's move on to the second class here. Your first program. Let's start off by creating a short program that displays hello world. I know this is like the first program that you run in any coding language. So it's same here. In Python, we use the print statement to output text as such. Okay, so I guess you just write print. I guess that's the command to then print text to the screen. Let's just play around with that a little bit and do a couple print statements. I mean, I guess you probably need the parentheses, but I mean, let's see what happens if you don't use the parentheses. If we were to just do that and run that, and yeah, it looks like it gives us an error. It says syntax error. So let's do the same thing, but we'll put the parentheses in and run it again, and I guess that should work. So you do need the parentheses. And if you take away these, let's see what happens. It changes the color here, so I'm assuming that won't work. And correct, yeah, it looks like it throws an error again. Okay, so you do need the apostrophe or text quote, or however you want to call that symbol. Oh, I already have that. Okay, there we go. I guess you can print out, whatever you want. My first program, so that should then print out here to the output side. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, can you print out numbers? Let's try it. Let's say like we put a 4 there. And yeah, it actually does let you print out the number 4. Now, let's see if it lets you print out numbers if you don't have the text quotation marks. If you just do the number, will that print out that number? Oh, it does. Okay. So maybe just for like words, you need to have these quotation symbols. Otherwise, you can just put it in there. I guess we'll probably learn more about that later on. So let's continue with the course. Congratulations, you've written your first program. Run, save, and share your Python code on our code playground. That was you just click here on the try it yourself button, and that's where you get to where I was writing the program just a few seconds ago. When using a computer, you will need to download and install Python from Python, www.python.org. Note this symbol in the code above. They are the prompt symbol, okay, of the Python console. Python is an interpreted language, which means that each line is executed as it is entered. Python also includes IDLE, the Integrated Development Environment, which includes tools for writing and debugging entire programs. So I guess when you download Python from this website, it gives you a place to write the code, which is nice. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so fill in the blanks to print hi. So I guess you would just need to write print here. And it looks like you could even use these double quotation marks in order to print out a statement. So that's good to know. You can use both single and double quotation marks. So let's see if that's right. And it is. Okay. Printing text. The print statement can also be used to output multiple lines of text. For example, print hello world gives you this output. Print hello world gives you this. Print spam and eggs gives you spam and eggs. Okay. That's pretty easy to understand. Okay, Python code often contains references to the comedy group Monty Python. Oh, okay. This is why the words spam and eggs are often used as placeholder variables in Python, where foo and bar would be used in other programming languages. Okay, so I guess they just use references to Monty Python when teaching Python. Is that what they're saying? Fill in the blank to output ni. So I think this would just be the print statement, and you just need the closed parentheses. And there we go. Okay, pretty simple. And let's go ahead and jump into this third class, simple operations. So far it's pretty easy. I'm liking the layout and the setup of SoloLearn. It makes it intuitive, easy. So let's keep going. Simple operations. Python has the capability of carrying out calculations. Enter a calculation directly into the Python console and it will output the answer. Okay, so you don't need to do like print. You don't need to put print before mathematical operations, I guess. 2 plus 2 gives you 4. 5 plus 4 minus 3. Does it do like order of operations? Yeah, it looks like it does. Okay. The spaces around the plus and minus signs here are optional. The code would work without them, but they make it easier to read. Okay, so I guess you don't need to put spaces in between each character. Okay, that makes sense. What does this code output? So it would just be 1 plus 2 plus 3. That's 6. Correct, perfect. Simple operations. Python also carries out multiplication and division, using an asterisk to indicate multiplication and a forward slash to indicate division. Use parentheses to determine which operations are performed first. Okay, perfect. So it's just normal order of operations, I guess, is the way Python reads the code that you write. So here's just a couple of examples of that. Using a single slash to divide numbers produces a decimal or float. Okay, yeah, so if you see here, when they do the 10 divided by 2 with the single slash, it gives you 5.0 instead of just 5. So I guess it just automatically turns it into a decimal whenever you're dividing. And I guess they're calling numbers with a decimal a float, as it is called in Okay, so that must be universal in all programming, not just Python. So I guess decimal numbers are called floats. We'll have more about floats in a later lesson. Okay, pretty simple. Which option is output by this code? Okay, so just order of operations, 4 plus 8, that's 12, divided by 2 is going to be 6. But since we're doing the division, it'll make it the decimal. So that's that they're trying to trick you up here. So it should be the decimal number, 6.0. And correct. Okay. Simple operations. The minus sign indicates a negative number. Operations are performed on negative numbers just as they are on positive ones. Okay. Negative 7 plus 2 times negative 4. Okay. Easy enough. The plus signs can also be put in front of numbers, but this has no effect and is mostly used to emphasize that a number is positive to increase readability of code. Okay, so maybe it's best practice to put positive numbers in front of positive numbers. That's easy enough. Fill in the blank to make this code correct. 5 minus 1 times 3 is negative 18. We're going to need to make the 5 a negative, so negative 5 minus 1 times 3 is negative 18. So that should be the right answer, and it is. Okay. And simple operations, dividing by 0 in Python produces an error, as no answer can be calculated. I mean, that's true in all math. You can't divide by 0. So I guess it throws this error when you try doing that. Okay, in Python, the last line of an error message indicates the error's type. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that this shows what type of error you're getting in your code. Read error messages carefully as they often tell you how to fix a program. Okay, that's good to know. And drag and drop the answer that will cause a 0 division error. Okay, so we basically just need to make this side of the equation equal to 0. So negative 5 plus 5 is going to equal 0. That should give the problem. That should give you the 0 division error. And that's correct. And yeah, so that brings us through the first 3 classes. And we'll go ahead and stop for now. I like SoloLearn. It seems really easy. It seems to explain well. I like it so far. So I think I'm going to stick with SoloLearn for the next few days and work on completing not only this module, but also work through the rest of these classes in the Python course. I think that's probably going to be my best bet, just kind of as a starting point, and then we'll kind of go from there and see what else I need to go through to learn and to work and get better at this and have practice and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and stop for there, and we will continue later.